So if you've been following my channel for any length of time, you know that I believe the housing market is a depression, right? Mortgage, real estate agents, builders, it's all bad. But with great pain comes great opportunity. And what I
Mhm.
think is happening right now for the folks that could stretch their mind, understand where there's great pain, there's great opportunity, is the chance to become what I've often referred to as a hybrid agent.
Mm.
Lots of people I talk with, all they do is list homes or they show homes. But if you're a hybrid agent, you real estate agents, you have no idea how much access to deal flow you have. Get off your butt, think different, do the work, and go make some money. And I have the one and only Jason Pritchard, who is in my second book, 15 Conversations with Real Estate Millionaires, here to talk about the hybrid agent and what does he see going on there. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Zuber, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing very, very well, man. So
Good.
you've been in the game a long time. You are a licensed agent. You are
Mm.
part of Real.
Yep.
You are seeing your investments in educating agents pay off because it's growing. So what are you seeing? Are you seeing agents leave the business? Are you seeing agents pivot? What's going on?
I'm seeing both, right? And I think this is a good talking point for us today because I spend a lot of time building relationships, and my business has been built off of relationships and growing those here in our community. And I see a lot of agents that are like just getting stuck in their old ways, right? They're saying, this is how I got into the game. We're just going to do more of the same thing. And then I'm seeing other agents that are willing to change and adapt and grow their business. And I want to talk about those agents that are showing the willingness to have some flexibility and maybe look at some new avenues. We were talking about this before we jumped on the call. We recently had a very, very large team in Tulare County, one of the top retail sales teams, 40 agents, over 100 million a year in sales for our market. Very, very substantial book of business on the
Yeah.
agent side. And they recently just moved over to Real, which was a huge win for them and a win for us. And in talking to the owner of that company, his main focus is growing the investment side of his business. They have a database of 40,000 clients in their CRM for the retail side of the business. And he goes, Jason, we're just leaving so many opportunities on the table by not having an investment arm to our business. And that's one of the things that's going to propel us, not just through this next year, but through the next 3 to 5 years. And so I'm really excited to be working with them. And that's a great example of somebody that, even though they've had a ton of success on the agent side, they're not just, sticking like old dog, old same trick type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So when I think about real estate agents, there's really two things that have always perplexed me. And again, please disagree with me if I'm wrong. But most real estate agents, probably 85, 90% of them, focus on home buyers.
Mm.
Most home buyers buy a home, if you look at the stats, once every 8 years. So if you are that agent and you're building out your Rolodex and you're networking your CRM, you're not going to get that repeat buyer till what, year 4, year 5, best case.
Best case scenario. Yeah.
Best case. I know plenty of agents that make a lot of money doing that, but they're in the game for a long time. If you can bust your ass and figure out which investors are repeat buyers, and oh, by the way, it's never been easier to figure that out. You could call like Fresno, California. Just a wild ass guess. If you were going to guess how many real estate investors buy multiple deals in a year, what would you guess that is? 500 people, 300 people, 1,000 people? What do you think? By
Oh
more than
God, I
one?
think the higher end, 3 to 500 seems low to me. I don't know.
I
I don't
have
know.
no
Yeah.
idea. So
Yeah.
let's say it's 4,000. No idea.
Okay.
I'm just guessing. Right?
More
Fresno
than
probably
one deal a year, right?
more than one deal. Right? We're
Yeah.
not talking one. More than one.
I'd say 1,000. Just put a number on it. Let's call it
All right.
1,000.
So let's say it's 1,000. And again, it is really easy to skip trace investors.
Absolutely.
They want to be found.
Yep.
You could probably call every investor in a week.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably, and again, the crazy thing about real estate investors is we're going to call you back.
Yep.
Right? You're going to probably not speak to us the first time. It'll go right to voicemail because we get a gazillion calls, but we'll call you back because we want to network, right? One of the things I'm trying to do is always meet more real estate agents because you just never know who gets the pocket listing and all of that stuff. So where I'm going with all this is I can't believe that 80 to 90% of agents focus on home buyers and forget the repeat buyers. And oh, by the way, real estate investors, we're loyal.
Yep.
You bring us deals, we pay you.
Yeah.
Right? We're not a home buyer who you take on 40 open houses, then they go to one by themselves and they sign with the person that's there. Right? I mean, it's I've always been perplexed why agents don't.
It is, and let me take your point one step further, Zuber. This is what's always perplexed me. Okay, is I don't know. It was always weird to me that more agents don't actually invest in real estate. So it's one thing to go
That's
from like
number two, but yes,
yes, like a retail client, right? So you have a retail client that's, buys a home every 5 or 6 or 8 years or whatever the number is, right? Then you've got an investor client that buys multiple homes every year, right? And then you become the investor, right?
Exactly.
And I think that's the transition, the natural transition that I think most agents need to be looking at, right? You can't get stuck in any one of those places, because once you can do all three, your overall book of business just starts.
Dude, you're a home run. Yeah. That's when you go next level.
Right. And so you then become the not just the conduit for where all those deals come, but you can be smart enough, if you educate and train yourself, right, to say, this is a really good deal. This is probably something I should keep for myself, right?
Yeah.
And if I'm not in a position to keep it for myself, or it doesn't fit my buy box for some reason, then I've got a Rolodex of clients that will probably take it too, and I can monetize it that way, or something else, right? And so I feel like, it was really interesting talking with the owner of the company that came over, and just him seeing this light. And it was something that I really want to get that message out to other agents, because I really feel like that's this hybrid agent that you're talking about. That's going to be the future of this business, right? You're going to have to be able to do everything. You can't just, and that's same on the investing side. Really, frankly, you can't just be just an investor, right? You've got to have other options and other tools in your toolbox.
Yeah. It's just, it's always, and again, like you just said, right? So again, you're an agent. 80% of you are just doing open houses and buy and sell, owner occ. That's like the hardest part of the game.
It is.
Then there's investors. And again, we're using the number of 1,000. Is it 2,000? It doesn't matter. Repeat buyers, we're not hiding. Mm-hmm. We're easy to find.
Yep.
Reach out, do the work, figure out, oh, by the way, all you got to do is, what's your buy box? What do you buy? Because you just never know when something comes in. And then, like you say, I believe agents have to get to the point where you're your own best buyer. You're the deal flow. It's okay. I think every agent should try to buy a rental a year.
I agree. It's so simple. That's such a layup for most people too. It would not be hard. And what's interesting is, you said at the beginning, like sitting on open houses, going on listing appointments. That's typically, in my opinion, I think the hardest. It's also the least financial ROI of the three things that we're talking about. So as you transition along this spectrum, I actually think it gets easier, and you make more money on the other end of the spectrum when you become the investor. You know what I'm saying? And in the middle, it's just, yeah. And I think most people just talk themselves out of it because of fear or lack of self-confidence. They don't know how to do it, or they can't find the money, or they can't find the contractor, all those things that I actually think are the easy parts, right? Mm-hmm. And that's where you talk to somebody like me or Zuber or somebody in your community that can help you. There's plenty of resources that are out there, guys, to help you kind of get across this hump. So not knowing is not an excuse.
Yeah. And then finally, you've just launched your own website. You're giving a lot of stuff away. Obviously, you are part of Real. So if somebody wanted to reach out and have that discussion, they could. But what is the website? What kind of stuff can they look forward to seeing?
Yeah. So my website, it just launched it, guys. It's jasonpritchard.com. Feel free to go there. If you sign up, I have a ton of free resources on there. So all the tools that my team uses, all of our contracts, our assignment agreements, our scripts, our deal analyzers. If you guys want to joint venture on an opportunity with me, if you're interested in lending on me, there's all these different ways for us to work together in the future. So feel free to go to the website, jasonpritchard.com, and submit your information, and myself or my team will reach out to you to set up a time to call.
Yeah. And again, folks, let's blow up his website. Send him a note saying, thank you for being a part of One Rental at a Time, just so he knows his time here is valuable. Thanks, man.
Thank you.